I noticed many owners having issues with squeaky suspension. Apparently, noise coming from the top ball joint. If you're looking on YouTube, we'll pull up a picture here. Someone recommend replacement. Some made puncture and spray grease. I can say it's easy to remove boot clip with a syringe. Press it roughly 15 milliliters of grease. I kind of butchered that, Tori. Take us through that post.
Well, I'll give you some grace here. I think that, you read it as it was written, so that's uh, yeah, not calling anybody out there, but you definitely
There's
read it
there's
as
a
a
great picture here, though. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and you can see what I'm looking at just appears to me to be a worn out rubber bushing.
yes. So if that bushing if the actual rubber boot is cracked and splitting and worn out, it has to be replaced. You have to replace the component. And that's what Charles Lay says here is that this is a temporary fix. Regreasing the bushing is a temporary fix. And, Alan comments and says, "Well, it's worked on mine fine for a year and a half now." And then Charles replied to that and said, "It's worked for a year and a half for me too, but now it's squeaking again. So I think at this point I'll replace it." Well, what I want to point out here is that so what a bushing is it's for these it's metal on metal. And inside there's grease that makes the metal on metal have a barrier to move around back and forth so that it doesn't wear out metal on metal. Well, as that grease deteriorates and the metal on metal happens, it starts to squeak. So if you're going to do this grease, regrease with the syringe and you know push it into that bushing, you got to do it as soon as you start hearing the noises because the more that it is squeaking, the more it's on metal, and it's actually wearing it out. Or if the rubber bushing is cracked and deteriorated, you got to replace it because it can't hold the grease. It's just going to keep on giving you problems. So uh, if you look at, we'll put it up here on the screen here. It's a post by, let me find MG, or Ken Schultz. Let me see here.
While you're pulling that up, Tori, I my experience with challenges like this are you're risking potentially it's a temporary fix, and if you continue to try to milk along the temporary fix, you end up with worn out additional parts that end up costing you more than it would have cost you to just replace the bushings, whether that be the joints or the arms there. So
Yep. So, and that's what you find in the comments are people saying, "Hey, if it's under warranty, they'll fix it under warranty. So just go and do it." But Paul has a comment here and says, "Hey, I just had the same problem. I took it to the dealer. It cost me $2,250 because the bushings were cracked and they had to change my control arms. I was hoping for just a grease job, but I wasn't able to do that. Have 100,000 miles, so not bad as a first expense." Um, Still $2,250 is a lot of money, and, especially if you can regrease it. Uh, so is it temporary? Well, getting a new one is temporary because that part, metal on metal with grease in it, if you can't replace the grease, that's why there's those little grease fittings on lawnmowers and tractors and a lot of other vehicles, and probably, I don't know why there's
Zerk
not one on
fittings.
Zert
Zerk fittings.
Zert fittings. I don't know why Tesla didn't put one on this. They're brilliant engineers, but to me, it seems like they should have done that. But, anytime you have a bushing that has grease in it, unless you can add grease, it is a temporary part. And then replacing it with the new one is a temporary fix if you can't regrease it. So, this could work as a very effective fix for a while, but you will have to do it again, just like in every other automobile when you do a service and they have those Zert fittings and they add grease, that's what they're doing is they're adding grease to those bushings to keep metal, from metal wearing out.
Yeah. So probably need to take it to the dealership is, would be recommended, especially if it's under warranty. Don't wait. There's one other comment here. I just want to mention spray WD-40 goes away instantly for months. I don't recommend this. I think a lot of people don't realize WD-40 is actually is it's not only a lubricant, it's a degreaser. WD-40 breaks down grease like better than Simple Green or actual degreasing products. WD-40 is an interesting product, but it's not a lubricant. It is a degreaser, and that seems counterintuitive, but trust
Yeah.
me, as a longtime motorcycle guy, I have found it and verified that WD-40 is a degreaser. So
A young Tory would take WD-40 after he had cleaned his engine bay and spray it all around, because it would shine and it would clean. And it does a great job of degreasing and cleaning stuff. You're right. And
yeah,
it does make it shiny and it feels like it's a grease, but the WD in WD-40 actually stands for water displacement. And what and an older, wiser Tory now knows is when you spray WD-40 all over rubber, especially if you're doing it consistently, you're actually drying it out
yeah,
and it's gonna
exactly.
start cracking and wear out faster. So
Yeah,
do not do that.
yeah, absolutely.